Hey guys, JakeDoesSports here, and today we are doing another top 25 poll of my opinion of where I think every team in the country is ranked. Well, just the 25 best, but that's basically, I've done this for 4 weeks now. I didn't make a week 0 poll or a preseason poll because it's just kind of dumb, but basically I've been making a lot of these now, and yeah, I've updated a few things. If you notice, I do have I have Oklahoma State in the just missed. JM stands for just missed, so that's the team that I would have had next. That's basically my number 26 team. And you see X for trend because they're not up or down. They didn't even stay the same because they're not ranked, and then their record 3-0. So just wanted to share that, and I know I didn't really talk about how I have the trend and then the record, and the TR on the right side, it should be, that's just, T and R stands for the same thing, trend record. It's just, my stupid self made, it really small, so it just, I couldn't write trend and record, unless you guys wouldn't be able to read it. But point being, yeah, I'm just going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about my poll. Really, if you guys take a look, the top 13, really nothing changed whatsoever, except a few teams. I'll get into that. But then the other side of the top 25 rankings is a little messy. Big changes there this week, but really all the big boys took care of business. Yeah. They really won all their games. I told you guys that Week 3 was not going to be an exciting week, and that statement held true. Really no good games. But, College game day was the Iowa State game, so, there's something wrong there. That super hyped up Syracuse-Clemson game ended up being a really bad game. 41-6, Clemson wins. But, yeah. Speaking of Clemson, I have them at number 1. They don't change. They've been at number 1 all season. And until they lose, they're going to stay there. Or have a really, really bad win. They're 3-0. They stay the same. Same with Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, LSU, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Michigan, Utah, and Texas. Literally all of them stayed the exact same. They didn't move whatsoever. Every single one of them won or had a bye week. So literally every team there won, and it's just kind of weird seeing a bunch of dashes. Yeah, that's what I have. And then I did flip-flop Auburn and Florida. Florida just had a really sloppy game against Kentucky. I thought Kentucky was going to win, and I thought they were better than what they were. They ended up being not such a good team. They lost to Florida in a very sloppy game, where their backup had to pick up the slack. Felipe Franks is not good. I'm still embarrassed. I said he was gonna have a big game against Miami. That did not happen whatsoever. That game was also sloppy, and your only non-sloppy win was against UT Martin, I believe. So yeah, I bumped you down 1. I moved Auburn up, and Auburn fans are probably triggered at me because I have Auburn at 12, and they're like, oh, the AP has them at 8. I really just, Auburn, I hate to break it to you, but just your win over Oregon was also sloppy. It wasn't the greatest win. It was a good win, but it wasn't, you came back. Bo Nix didn't play great. He didn't, and you guys, you beat Tulane and Kent State, and you started out slow in both of those games. Now, I could say the same thing about Notre Dame, but we really blew out. We blew out New Mexico and Louisville. They may not be the greatest. They're a Power 5 team. Point being, you guys didn't have the most impressive wins, and it's one thing to say didn't have an impressive win, because, really, every single team in the top 10, you can say that too. I'm trying to think of a team you can't. Yeah, really none. LSU, for example, or Georgia, for example. They blew out Arkansas State. I mean, yeah, but they blew them out. That's the thing. You guys had a few mistakes. Started off slow, just weren't at the pacing you wanted to be at. So I really think that's why I moved you guys. I think that's why I have you guys at 12. Just be happy I moved you up one. And it's not really because you guys did anything special this week. It's just that Florida just had a not good game again. And once they start playing an actual good team, they're going to lose and they're going to be bumped down a lot. I've been putting my finger over the move Florida down button for a while now, and I'm getting impatient. I want to see them lose. I think everyone knows it, except Florida fans. Yeah, so really no movement in the top 13. Is there any other team I could really talk about? I don't think so. Yeah, really no team I could talk about. Wisconsin and Michigan have bye weeks, and in my mind, they're the 8 and 9 teams. Wisconsin's home. I have them ranked higher than Michigan, so that'll be a fun game. And yeah, I mean, really, every team just dominating their games. Notre Dame had a great game against New Mexico. I still got to get that video out. Yeah, Utah took care of business. Texas. And I have Texas above Auburn and Florida, and you're wondering, well, they have one loss. Why are they just outside of your top 10? I just don't. I think if you really matched up Texas and Auburn and Florida, Texas would win both of those games. And I think you can make a statement for them beating Utah. I mean, they're a great team. It's just they have a loss, and it's too early in the season to put a one-loss team in the top 10. So, I mean, Week 5, Texas. If you can get through your next few games, wait Week 5, I'll move you into the top 10. Congratulations. But that, granted, a team in the top 10 will have to lose. And seeing you got Notre Dame playing Georgia next week, if Notre Dame loses that, which I think they will, and you got Wisconsin, Michigan, and I think Michigan's going to lose. So, yeah, really no problem there. So, yeah, just wait a few weeks, Texas. Wait a few weeks, because there's going to be other one-loss teams, and I'm going to have to be saying, Notre Dame's going to have one loss, and I can't put them in the top 10, right? I'll see. I might have to disregard that rule, but I don't want to be a homer. Okay. I'm getting off track here. We got number 14 UCF. They moved up 3 spots. They really impressed me with that Stanford win. Not because Stanford's a good team. I thought they were. It was a huge bust on my part, but it's because UCF did it in a dominating fashion. And that's what you like to see when a group of 5 team beats a Power 5 team. Not that they won the game. I mean, it's always great that they won the game. But they did it in dominating fashion. They were home. That could be part of it. But they won the game. And that's all you can ask from UCF. 15, Texas A&M. A lot of people... last year, I was lower on Texas A&M than some people. This year, I'm higher. I see the... I think it was the coaches poll. Forgot where they had them. I looked at the coaches poll, but not the AP. Somewhere around the 17, 18, 16, somewhere around there. So I have a few spots higher. I really want to move them up past Florida, but I think that's way too much. Especially seeing that they have one loss. But again, once Florida loses, I'm gonna drop them down a lot. Yeah, Texas A&M 15. Nothing really to say. Penn State. Now we got Penn State. This is an interesting pick. I had them moving down 2 spots. They're 3-0. Again, Penn State. I'm lower on Penn State than a lot of people are. I don't think they're gonna. You could see them crack the top 10. I could definitely see that, but I don't see them getting anywhere higher than 8. Really, Penn State they're a good team. Don't get me started, but they're not playoff contenders yet. I think they're at least a year away, maybe 2. And you'll say a year or 2 later, and Penn State's gonna be up there. They're gonna be up there. Just you wait. But it's a few more years. Penn State. I say barely. You won by 7 over a terrible Pitt, in my mind, a terrible Pitt team. And it's not. I watched the end of that game, and I know it's a rivalry. I know you barely won, but that came down to a Hail Mary. And they almost got that Hail Mary. Yeah, no one really cared because Penn State won it anyways. No shock and awe, but that was pretty close. That was scary for Penn State fans, I'm sure. I mean, I know my heart would be pounding if it came down to a Hail Mary. And they could have won it right then and there. They get the Hail Mary, get the 2-point conversion. That's ball game. None of that happened though, luckily, and Penn State survived. But it's just Pitt. They're not a good team, and you hate to see that. And I can't put Penn State at 13 or wherever, or somewhere where the coaches had them. I can't put them there when they barely beat Pitt. That's just unacceptable. Okay, next game. Or not next game. I always say that. Next team. Oregon. They moved down 1. It's really just because UCF moved up. I mean, you had a fine game. 2-1. Again, that one loss is going to hurt you in these polls early. Because a lot of other teams are undefeated. Because that's why they're here. But you guys really... you guys really just have to win the rest of their games. You have to, if Oregon wants any shot at winning the Pac-12, you gotta win the rest of your games, no doubt about it. And you gotta blow out whoever you gotta blow out the best teams on your schedule. You gotta blow out Utah or whoever you play in the Pac-12 championship. And maybe if some things go your way. Maybe you get into the playoff. But you look, I have Washington State at 19. I'll get to them. Washington at 21. I'll tell you why I didn't move them. And that's it. And those are the only teams in the top 25. USC, I thought they were a legitimate contender. Them and Utah were the only ones really left. And USC choked against BYU, so that's a big L for the Pac-12, and Utah is the only legitimate contender at this point for the college football playoff. I got them at number 10. Some people have them as their dark horse. Utah's a great team, but it's going to be a tough road, and I think if you want to put someone at second place, it's probably Oregon. Washington, you lost to Cal. Come on, guys. And Washington State, they got a chance. But even Washington State, I think Oregon still has a better shot than Washington State. I don't know why, I just got that feeling. But Utah, really, the only one that stands out for me is that's got a shot. Oregon probably second, Washington State third. And I don't even think I think Washington's eliminated at this point. I mean, lost to Cal. Come on, guys. We'll get into Cal in a minute. You notice I don't have them on my rankings, and I'll get into that later. But 18, Iowa moved up 1. I don't know. I wouldn't say a sloppy game. I mean, it was many rain delays. Just not a good game to play in. They got the win by 1 though. Iowa State, I don't think they're a great team. They barely beat Northern Iowa, and I moved you up 1 because that's really just how it went, because a certain Michigan State team lost. I'll get into that later, of course. That's what I always say, but Iowa State is they're not a great team. In my mind, it's like I don't really know what to compare it to. It's like UVA beating Florida State, except a little better. I mean, I think we all knew coming into this game. I picked Iowa to win. Did I pick them to cover? I think I did. But I told you, I had a feeling I was going to win this game, and they did. It's just, that Iowa's proved stuff, and I think, Iowa State's they're like Miami. I hate to compare them to Miami because they're still better than Miami, but they're all hype, no game. They just haven't proved anything. I have no idea why that game was College Game Day. I'm still gonna rant about that, but I mean, then again, that just shows you how little good games there were week 3. But just Iowa, all in all, you got the win by 1 in an okay game, and I didn't really move you up because I was impressed, just because that's how it fell, and you got an average win over an average team. That's all I can say. Number 19, Washington State. It pained me to do this, and after Iowa, it took me a good amount of time to figure out where I wanted to place teams, and it was just kind of weird, where I didn't really know where to place teams. So yeah, not Washington State to Michigan State, or I guess Oklahoma State. Those were very hard for me to place, because I wanted to do things based on how good their wins were and stuff. But point being, Washington State, I really didn't want to move you up to 19. I didn't want you to move up 3 spots for beating Houston by 7. But I couldn't really put any other team there, and I do have Kansas State at 20. And I just want to say I couldn't really move up Kansas State all the way to 19. But yeah, that's why I moved you up 3, because I'll get into Washington in a second, but I didn't want to move Washington. Kansas State, they were not ranked last week, and again, this is kind of like Florida. I've been hovering over that button to just launch them into the top 25, and I felt like I should have done it last week, but when you have I don't think this is relatable at all, but it's kind of like this expression. You have a cup of water, and it's almost at the top, but you have to fill it all the way to the top, and then you basically you pour a bunch of water on accidentally, and it overspills. It's kind of what happened. I wanted to put Kansas State in last week, but I didn't. But that win over Mississippi State launched them all the way to number 20. A great win for Kansas State. I love their coach. He was the coach for North Dakota State, and I think you guys know how good North Dakota State is, and it's proven right now. And this team has one of, if not the best defense in the Big 12, people. Watch out for this defense. I don't know if it's going to give teams any trouble, because the Big 12 is all about offense, but I think Kansas State's got both. I think they got a Notre Dame-esque build. I mean, they're really good in all aspects of the ball. They're not too amazing at any one thing, but they are very consistent when it comes to their team, and they found a new identity, I think, and I think the Kansas State team means a whole new thing now. They're a great team. They're 3-0. Off to a great start. Go Kansas State. Congratulations to you guys, and I have you at number 20. Don't fail me like Maryland did, though. And I moved Maryland all the way up to 20. Don't fail me like they did. This could be a curse, putting teams at 20 and they choke the next week. I hope not. I hope you guys win. I hope you go 4-0. I hope you make some noise in the Big 12. That'd be awesome. But anyways, number 21, sorry. I got Washington. Washington, they lost to Cal, okay? And Cal, this is really where I want to talk about Cal. I don't have Cal ranked because I don't think they should be a ranked team. I believe the coaches had them at 23. And that's just unbelievable. Cal should not be ranked. They barely beat North Texas, people. They barely beat North Texas. And in my mind, I think people would be thinking, oh, he'd at least have him in the just missed column. No. I think they're a few teams. I think they're good 5 teams away from getting in the top 25. I probably have them at number 30, 31. I mean, they're really not close in my mind. People are just assuming because Cal beat Washington that all of a sudden Cal's a good team now. No, that's not how it works. It's like saying I played a tennis pro. I beat him in a point. Now I'm that rank. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Washington, I didn't really believe in you to begin with, and I still stand my case. I was right. You guys didn't look impressive. You beat Hawaii by 32. Congratulations. Something another Pac-12 team wasn't able to do. Arizona. I predicted Arizona was going to lose that game. But yeah, just congrats, Cal, on beating Washington in a weird game. But that's not going to be your free ticket into the top 25 in my mind. After you barely beat North Texas. Any team that barely beats North Texas shouldn't be in the top 25. Like, what are you doing? So, basically, I had Washington stay there after that. Even after they crushed Hawaii, they just don't look like a good team in my mind. They just don't look that good, and that's just what I think about Washington. It's going to stay that way until they prove me wrong, and that's why I'm not moving them. 22, I got Army. Army's 2-1, just like Washington. Moved them up 3. They crushed their opponent. What more is there to say? It was a pretty good win. It's not really, again, it's just how it worked out, because a lot of teams fell out of the top 25. That Army moved up 3. But I'd be fine with putting Army at number 22, and that's where I have them. I think that's a great spot. It's just the trend doesn't really indicate that they had a great win. If Army beat Michigan, though, you'd see them all the way up at 18, I'm sure. UVA, Virginia. I wanted to move. I think I had Army jump over Virginia, and I really did that just because, they barely beat, I wouldn't say barely beat, they won by 7 over Florida State, which you don't like to see, but they got the win. They're 3-0. I still think they're a good team. I moved them up 1. I didn't feel comfortable moving them up 2. Good job, UVA. Keep it up. Let's see, Boise State. People are going to kill me if I don't put Boise State in my top 25. So there you go. I think, people had them was it even the preseason they had them in there? Yeah, I just wasn't comfortable with that. They barely beat Marshall. They got another win, so whatever. I'll put them in, I guess. They lose, they're out, though. That's the same scenario with Michigan. UVA, depending on the circumstances. UVA and up, maybe. Probably Washington if they lose, they're out. Maybe, I doubt Kansas State. It really depends on the circumstances. But, Boise State, you lose, you're out. This is your one chance. You better show me something, and I'll keep you in until you lose. I think everyone's just thinking Boise State is still what they were a long time ago, like 10 years ago. And no, not even close. They're not what they used to be. And they have a shot. I really do think Army is going to get the New Year's Six Bowl this year. I would absolutely love to see Army play in the this year's New Year's Six Bowl. Sadly, I do think they lose because they would have, the teams would have multiple weeks to prepare. But I would love to see that. That'd be awesome, man. That'd be awesome. Fellow independent Army, Notre Dame. Notre Dame and Army, fellow independents. Gotta stick together. But, I don't know. Yeah, Boise State, you're at 24. Show me something. That's all I have to say. Michigan State, you guys are lucky I even put you on this poll. Okay? How'd you lose to Arizona State? Come on, guys. Really, the only reason I've kept them on is that their defense is amazing, and again, they proved it in this game. But they lost 10-7. Their offense never showed up, and yeah, that's all I could say for you, Michigan State. I moved you down 7 spots, and if you, if you were 1 spot lower, you'd be out of the poll. You'd be out of the poll. So just be lucky I kept you in. We'll see where you go. I could drop you even if you win, depending on what team I want to put in. But yeah, that's where I have you. Let's see. And the just missed team, Oklahoma State, Big 12 team that I think is on the rise. If they win, I think you guys are in next week. Yeah, that's really all I have to say. Oklahoma State, they're on the rise. I think they will eventually get there. So that's all for me, guys. Man, I really want to limit these videos. 26 minutes, and I literally didn't talk about half the teams in this poll. But thank you guys so much for watching on Jake the Sports. See you guys next time. Bye.